What's up YouTube, Dow here from Zephyr War Games, and today I am bringing you my first place Brave Kozmo profile. Now, this Kozmo got me first place at my locals. Here are the OTS packs that will open up at the end as well. It was 4 rounds of Swiss. My matchups were Dark Magician, Salaman Greats, and 2 DDDs. And there were obviously a couple of Sword Soul players around as well. With all of that out of the way, please smash that like button, hit that notification bell, and subscribe so you don't miss out on any more upcoming content. Also, another massive shout out to Ryan Watson, who put these tokens together. I will put a link to his Instagram below, and you can order your own. They cost about £7. You can get them as Prismatic Secret, which is what I've got here, or you can get them as Normal Secret, or as a Super Rare. You can get loads of different other tokens as well. He does amazing work, and I've bought from him before as well, so definitely go check him out as well. With all of that out of the way, let's get into this Brave Kozmo profile. Now, it's going to be a very, very interesting one. It was kind of a deck that I was like, you know what, I haven't played Kozmo for a long time. Let's just see where it goes. So, with that, with the ships, we are playing triple Kozmo Dart Destroyer alongside 1 Eclipser, 1 Forerunner, 1 Slip Rider, and then one that kind of meets in the middle as a higher level pilot is a Dark Lady, 2 Tin Cans, 1 Farmgirl, 1 Strawman, and 1 Sword Trooper. So, why this particular ratio is, well, the way I saw it was, when I was playing the Brave engine, the issue that I found was, of course, you could not use any of the normal summon effects that turn you summon it. So the idea would be that you would need to be normal summoning one of these with a ship in the hand in order to turn these into a form of interruption during the next turn. So how do you get past that? Well, thankfully, because of Konami, we now have E-Telly at free. So E-Telly is your honorary member, or counts as another one of all of these copies, which is why there's only 2 Tin Can rather than 3. It's why there's only 1 Strawman, 1 Sword Trooper, and 1 Farm Girl. Ideally, you want to be opening up E-Telly. You want to open up E-Telly more than the pilots, and then you want to see one of the ships in the hand. So then your combo becomes E-Telly plus any part of the Brave engine, and a ship gets you full combo, or a 2-card combo is E-Telly plus the Brave engine, gives you a Tin Can, which will then lead you into one of the higher ups. So ideally what you want to be searching off for the Tin Can, because you're going to be summoning it during your turn, is you want to be going for your Eclipser, your Dark Lady, or your Forerunner. During your opponent's turn, obviously you've also got Slip Rider and Destroyer that become an interruption. On top of that as well, what you want to be doing is, if you're going first, you can also set the E-Telly, so you can drop this during the battle phase, and even go in second as well. Being able to hold onto an E-Telly for the battle phase means you can dodge stuff like Imperms, which actually won me a sorry, not Imperms, Veiler, which actually won me a game today because I did it in the battle phase, and my opponent had a Veiler. So that was really, really important. It also lets you dodge stuff like Nibiru as well. So really, really cool engine. I know, like, I kind of want to make a more controlled version. Like, this build is a bit of a balance between the aggression and the amount of times that Farm Girl Dart Destroyer got me game today was crazy. It does kind of make me want to, like, run honest, for the pure fact that Farm Girl herself isn't as good as it used to be. Like, in the past, 1500, it was, like, really, not really easy. But when this was the meta deck, it was obviously during a time where there wasn't as many hand traps, where the non-target, non-destruction protection effects were a lot higher, a lot more valued as well. And overall, it was just a lot more difficult to deal with, so that the Farm Girl attack, do damage, pay 500, search out Destroyer, go in for game, which is so much more consistent. Put in a lot of work. I really, really enjoyed playing it today. It was just something a little bit different that I hadn't played for a long, long time. And I kind of needed to modernize it, which is why you play the Brave package. Now, I'm not going to go too much in depth on the Brave package itself, because it is very, very standard of the 3 Enchantress, the 1 Griffin, 3 Rights, 1 Fateful, and 1 of the Equipped. So I kind of underestimated how much this does. Like when I first got it, I was like, all right, cool, I'm always going to Omni Negate. But it's the fact that you've got a Banish from Grave effect, you've got constant recursion, you've got a bounce effect, you've got constant searching. Like the engine itself can really, really do a huge amount for you. And if you wanted to, this is a very easy route into like a Link to Verte, into DPE, or anything along those lines as well. I do not play the DPE engine. It was something that I kept having that kept clashing because I was like, well, if I wanted to try and tin can in the end phase because I've used E-Telly, I can't do that because I would have been locked into Dark Heroes. Ultimately, I just made the decision of, you know what, I don't have free. I kind of want to play Extrav, so I'm just going to not play it at all, and it worked out well. Before I get onto the final spells, the last hand trap that I played was Triple Shifter, and again, I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? Huh? How? I kind of went with the mindset of, if I drop a Shifter during my opponent's turn, I can still lead to an OTK during my turn. If I drop a Shifter, it ends their turn. There is no way of playing, whereas I can still play. I can still run the Brave package. I can still run that combo of getting me at least 4k on the board. And then all I need to do is able to get an E-Telly into a Farm Gale, and that leads me to game. So it was just one of these ones that if I wasn't able to go first, it acted as the best alternative floodgate. There was one time where I drew this for turn in like turn 3 where it was completely dead and useless. But the other times when I did drop it in the Salad matchup and one of the DD matchups, it ultimately just won me the game. So it can be easily cut out for Imperms, Ashes, whatever you want. Moving on to spells, Triple Extrav. And again, I'll show you the card that it clashes with is Kozmo Town. So this was one big factor that I was like, again, last minute. So I cut Kozmo down to 2. For the pure fact that I wasn't banishing enough. I wasn't, like, ideally what you want is you want Allure of Darkness, which sets up your Kozmo Town, which means you focus more on the Kozmo plays. And I ultimately wasn't getting that. So the Extrav was putting in a lot of work because it was allowing me to dig into multiple control cards, which I wanted to play. It also allowed me to dig into part of the Kozmo engine alongside part of the Brave engine. Prosperity could have been a good option, but the fact that it does half damage with a deck like this that can very easily OTK, I kind of needed to make sure that I didn't go that deep into it, which is why I went with a ratio of 3 and 2. If this searched the Kozmo on activation, you know that this would be at 3, but the fact that it didn't, and it's more of one of the ones where it's like, you need to try and shuffle back to fix your hand, which I wasn't doing. It was more so, once I've kind of late game, I get to a Kozmo Town, I activate it, I can then start bringing back my banished ones, and that's where the grind game comes into play. So, Kozmo Town for the grind game, part of its units for the aggression, which is exactly what this deck was doing. This deck was winning after 2 turns. The only grind game that I really had was in a Salad matchup, and even then that only lasted 3 or 4 turns. The last of the spells, Double Droplet. Again, I just needed more cards that was like, well, if I don't get to go first, I need ways of playing stuff in order to kind of get rid of dead shifters, be able to negate heavy monster lineup boards, and kind of go from there. The trap cards, I'm playing a lot of 2-ofs, but you can, this is all comes down to personal preference. You can bump any of these up to 3 should you wish. This was the control factor of the deck. So the idea was that it was like, right, okay, well, 2-card combo for OTK is E-Telly and Brave package. 2-card combo for a like a boss monster is Brave package plus E-Telly. So that still leaves me 3 cards, if not 4 cards after, if I've resolved Extrav, where I can afford them to be control cards. Punishment, I don't care about the extra deck. IDP was just dependent on the local environment. Strike was, there were certain times where people would be able to chain block you, or they'd be able to go, right, okay, activate a monster effect in response to one of your normal traps, and you can go, cool, chain strike, end the game there. Back to the front, I would probably, if I'm being completely honest, I'd probably cut out the 2 back to the front and put a 3rd IDP, or a 3rd punishment, and then a 3rd strike, depending on the local environment, or even a double Cosmojo. Never used the Cosmojo. IDP just like blew out a DDD game, which was great. And then kind of went from there. So that's it for the main deck. Obviously, if you're not a fan of all of the trap control cards, you can go for more hand traps. I think the space is definitely there. So yeah, work around with that as you see fit. We've then got 2 of the sexiest Brave tokens around. Absolutely love the full arts of these. So again, massive, great, amazing job, Ryan, on that one. So thank you for those. And then onto the extra deck. So I played 3 Super Poly targets because I was playing Super Poly in the side. That was purely because I was expecting a lot of DDDs today. So the Super Poly won me to get both the games of the DDDs. And the extra deck you don't really care about. Like, there's very little in the extra deck. You're like, yeah, cool, I need that. So, like, the only ones you really want is Natis, and if you're playing Super Poly, your Super Poly targets. If not, you really don't care. So you can start putting in stuff like the Wind Pegasus, so the Agnes, the Wind Pegasus. Again, it was a last-minute change. I just couldn't get to them. So I was like, right, okay, well, we'll go for the next best thing. This is what we're going to set up. Triple D Arc, again, I was expecting some PKs. I was expecting some, obviously, DDDs, but I was also expecting some DPEs floating around. Double Verte. So this was like, if my opponent used up all the negates, burnt for everything, I could go Verte, and they'd be like, yeah, sure, whatever. All you're going to do is bring out a DPE. And I send a Super Poly, and I just poly their board, which is great. And then for the freeze, you've got the one Unicorn, the one Celine. You can double these up, triple them up, do whatever you need to. And then 2 access codes. Again, very rarely would you need to go into these. You could put the BLS link free. But again, that was coming down more for a grind game rather than the aggression game, which I was playing. I was basically just going, activate Extrav, don't really care what you banish, to be honest. And kind of going from there. So there wasn't really anything of huge, I'd say value, but huge worry for me to kind of need to deal with. And it put in a decent amount of work. So all I can ask from a deck is that it doesn't brick me and that it puts in the work that I require for that day. So that's it for the deck profile. I hope you liked it. I was giving a couple of ideas. So let's open up these OTS packs. So there was 17 players. I got 7 packs, obviously one of them being my entry pack as well. I'm kind of go from there. I kind of like a lot of the supers in here. I'd like to get Dasher, which would be nice. Kagamucha Knight. Obviously the ulties is going to be the icing on the cake. Get like a Fusion Destiny, a Zeus, an Ecclesia, anything like that. But even if it's just supers, it would be nice to kind of see... Ooh, Baby Ceresaurus. I would like to get babies, and I would like to get... I think there's 3 that I wanted. Baby, Monk, and Dasher. I mean, Dasher's just been rarity upgraded into a secret anyway, so... or Datic Token, like, who asked? Like, where's our Sword Soul? Actually, you know what? Don't worry, the Sword Souls that I've got are so much better. Ryan, thank you. Manju, definitely like the idea of keeping hold of Manjus for this, because, like, you can never have too many. Second baby, sweet. So that's definitely going into a Dino deck. I mean, finally, unless Dinos get a rarity, but like if they give a Ultra, so like we wait years and years for a foil print in a baby, and then they give us a Super Baby in OTS and an Ultra and goes from the past, I'd be like, what the hell? Hey, Super Dasher! I mean, that was really cool when it was announced, and then they went, oh, by the way, we're going to give you a secret in Speed Dolls as well. And it's like, oh, on top of that, we're also going to, you've also got the ulti, so... Pencil Plume, Ghost Trick, and Token Collector. I think this is a nice reprint as well. Just for, I think it's such a good card in the Sword Soul matchup that it requires like a high level player to be able to play around it. Circle, Ghost Trick, and the final, ooh, baby. We got a playset of baby, but no monks. But a playset of baby, so that's kind of cool. Babies will be going straight in Zidane deck. Cool. So that was it. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't really a casual locals, but it definitely obviously wasn't high level, which is nice because it lets you play decks like this. It lets me play around with a different deck that I haven't played for a long time, or it lets me use a deck that I really want to play, but maybe the meta or the game just isn't really ready for it. And yes, the issue is I did need to upgrade and put in the Brave package for this deck in order to kind of get where I needed to go. But I think it is the one plus side of an engine like this is it does let you revitalize old decks. But it's only that good if they're easily accessible to everyone. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share. Till next time, guys, as absolutely always, stay safe. And of course, happy dueling.